What's happening, people? Okay, we are live right now, live from the village right now. It is 23 minutes past 8 p.m. right now. Yeah, starting a little bit later than usual right now on the 18th of April 2023 right now. Tuesday night right now, first of hopefully many Tuesday nights for right now where we're going to where if I can even talk properly, we watch some TV shows right now. Well, a TV show right now. This is the X-Files. We watch the X-Files kind of weekly, well not weekly, but bi-weekly. Is bi-weekly, is that the right word? Every couple of weeks for a little while, but now it's time to go on the weekly schedule. So Monday's movie night, Tuesday's TV night, Thursday's is game night. Today is Tuesday. We're about to continue with the X-Files run. Season 1, episodes 14 to 16. It is on Disney Plus. Get it ready on Zero if you've got Disney Plus. If you got on DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, Laserdisc, any other format, get it ready on Zero. But if you don't have access to it, it's all good. You can still come along and have some fun. So, let me switch over this screen and talk for a little bit. So yeah, it is Tuesday TV night, X-Files. So what's been happening so far? Let's try and do like a quick recap on the X-Files so far. So last week there was an episode Eve with the girls. We've also seen the episode with the was it the Neanderthal person, the ancient human being that lived in the forests, and somehow just only like 2 of them, even though they've been breeding apparently for all these years. There was the episode with Dana's dad, where Dana's dad passed away, and there was the guy, the psychic guy, Brad Dourif, who was like saying stuff that made her think it could have been a message from her dad. What else was there? There was of course, Eugene Victor Toombs. Yeah, there's been quite a bit. There was the one with ghosts and space stuff. But yeah, it's been quite a bit happening so far. But I guess overall, the main thing so far is that Mulder is the believer and Scully is the non-believer, and every time something happens, Scully's usually out the picture and doesn't see it to get the proof. And one time she starts to believe is like, you know, involves her pups. Yo, what up, Sam? Sam being a place to be. How's you doing? How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream as we getting ready to watch the X-Files season 1, episodes 410 to 16. So yeah, 14, 15, and 16 today. That's 3 episodes. We are more than halfway through the season, I guess, because it's what, 22? How many episodes in the season? I think it's like 20 something. It's going to take a while to check, isn't it? But yeah, I think we're more than halfway through the season now. But I guess we can get through it relatively quickly now that we're going weekly. Let's see here real quick. How many episodes from season 1? It's 24 episodes in season 1. So yeah, we're more than halfway through. Maybe just a few more weeks to get through the rest of it, give or take. Can't watch it. I'm afraid Wi-Fi is back home, but the internet isn't on the PlayStation, and I don't know how to do it. Ooh. Still having an issue with the Wi-Fi. That sucks, man. Oh wait, well, Wi-Fi's back on, but yeah. So I guess you're not having an issue with the Wi-Fi. I read that wrong. My bad. Wi-Fi's back on, but the internet isn't. Okay. You guys have an issue with the PlayStation. Okay, so you watch stuff on your PlayStation. Okay. The PlayStation is a very versatile console. It really is. Like, from PS2 days, really. Like, PS1 was a pretty impressive console. But PS2, I think, like, that's really when they went into like that versus, because it was like a DVD player as well as a games console. And then by the time the PS3 came out, it was a Blu-ray player, a DVD player. You could download movies to it, you know. And of course, now the PS4 is out. You can do all of that plus more. So yeah, I mean, the PlayStation for a while has been a very versatile console. But yeah, if you don't have the internet on there, it kind of sucks. Oh well. Oh well. But I believe you've seen these before. I don't know how long ago. I guess it was a while ago. We'll see how much is remembered from me recapping episodes, and how much you can refresh your memory on certain things. But yeah, we'll start the show in just a little bit. Oof. How's your day been otherwise? Excuse me. You know what? Let me get my thing. It's getting a bit chilly in here actually. One sec. Get me hoodie. Get me hoodie. But for some reason, it's not connected to the PlayStation. Xbox is fine. It's just my PlayStation. But yeah, I watch everything through that. So what you're saying is Xbox is better than PlayStation? Yeah, I like my Xbox, I like my PlayStation. I'm not too sure which one's better actually between the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. They're probably about the same in terms of, you know, technicals and stuff like that. And then outside of that, it's just whichever games you prefer, I suppose. But Dave's fine though. Sophie asked me for a DNA test because she isn't convinced I'm her real mom. Wow. I mean, is she right? We're gonna go that far. Man, imagine that. I want a DNA test. I'm not sure my real mom. Wow. All the while you're kind of thinking, how did she know? They said no one would ever find out. She ain't mine. I want to be compensated with team of that crap. It's actually possible. I mean, I believe it's rare and it doesn't happen very often. At least I hope it doesn't happen very often. But it is possible for babies to get mixed up at birth. I'm for sure I heard about some case a while ago where, you know, after lady gave birth, you know, they have like the babies in the thingy, and there's like a mix up at something. I'm sure I heard about that case. Like I think I remember hearing about it a while ago. I don't know. Maybe my memory's playing tricks on me, or maybe it was a movie. It wasn't real life. You know, after a while, it kind of blurs all into one memory, really. But yeah, I guess it's a possible thing, which just doesn't happen very often. I would hope it's not too common anyway. Otherwise, that would be awkward. But Sophie's precious. She's gonna be queen one day, so protect her at all costs. one day we could be asking her for to get things done. Saying, Your Honor, no, Your Majesty, that was it. Your Majesty, I am but a humble servant. But if you may deign to see to help me, I shall be eternally grateful. Witness protection. I'm not sure witness protection would keep you safe though. I mean, if she's queen, probably supersedes witness protection. You might need like witness protection in a whole nother country. You know, like somewhere where jurisdiction just doesn't reach. Like maybe Mars or something like. Fourth quadrant. Mars. Until of course we colonize Mars, and then, you know, they ain't gonna matter no more. About the Queen of Alice in Wonderland. Off with her head. Can't lie though, if I was king, I'd probably do the same thing. Like, I mean, I think if I was king, I'll try to be a good king for at least a little while. But maybe like, you know, 6 months into it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be petty. I'd be like beheading people just because I don't like their shoes or something. Be like, I don't like your shoes. Off with his head. That's what I'd be doing. Or anybody looks at me funny. Off with his head. Feed him to the lions. Oh, that'd be even better, actually. Throw them into the lion cage and let the lions eat them. Like, yeah, entertainment. Entertainment. That's what he used to do in like the gladiator days. Throw him to the lions. And so we besties then. Awesome. Means my head is safe. Nobody's taking my head off. Yeah. It's been a pretty regular day for me though. Editing, stuff like that, you know. Oh man. There was an incident actually. Well, I don't know if I call it an incident. It's more of a, I don't know, I feel like as I get older, I'm just becoming more and more petty, you know. Like I don't necessarily want to be, but I feel like I'm just getting more and more petty. Not in all circumstances. I feel like most circumstances, I'm pretty good. I can handle them relatively well. You know, I'm not saying I'm perfect or nothing, but I feel like I can handle most adverse circumstances relatively well. But I feel like, but there are certain circumstances where I'm just getting more and more petty, and it seems to be like with when I'm driving now. Like, there's so many angry drivers out there, like so many. And I've been doing this cab work for like over 4 years now. And pretty much throughout that time, I just ignored it. You know, going about my day, because in the day, whatever they're angry at is nothing to do with me, right? But I feel like lately it's just gotten to a point where I'm responding to people in the most pettiest ways, you know? And I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Well, maybe it is a little bit. But I'm just responding to people into the most pettiest ways where, like today, for example, I was pulling over to drop somebody off, and as I was stopping, I didn't realize there was a car right behind me, and I was blocking. That's not very petty. I didn't realize there's a car behind me, and I was blocking this guy getting through, and he honks at me, which, you know, already quite annoying. But end of the day, I'm in his way. I've got to move out of the way. It is what it is, right? So he honks at me, and I see he's there, and so I start moving out of his way so he can get past. And as he's going past, he's still honking at me, and he's like looking over with that angry face that drivers do, like that. So at this point, I'm thinking, like, why? Like, I've moved out of your way. Why are you still mad? But he's like doing all that honking stuff, and he's like angry, and so I just gave him the middle finger. Middle finger went all the way up, and I looked him dead in the eye when I did it, as was driving past, and I kind of like completely, I don't know if I forgot, but it just did not really occur to me that I should probably not be doing that when a passenger's in my car. You know, I probably shouldn't be flipping people off with a passenger in the car. But yeah, it was just like it just went. I just looked him in the eye, and the finger went up, and he's driving by and I'm getting out of the car because like the lady had her luggage in the back, so I'm getting out of my car to help with that. And of course he's just driving off because it's all, I don't know what it is. I feel like some people just want to act tough, I guess, or something. But it was never going to be an incident where he was actually going to come out and fight me, because I mean, I'm trying to act like I'm a tough guy because I'm not. But I also know that a lot of people just talk big when they're in a position of safety, and not, you know, the moment they kind of get an inkling of, oh, you know, this could go beyond what you're expecting, they're just going to drive away. And that's exactly what happened. And I wasn't even getting my car for him, I was getting my car for the passenger. But anyway, I'm getting out my car and he drives away. So and I apologized to the passenger. I said, yes, sorry, that was petty, and she didn't mind. Well, I don't think she minded. She was just saying that, yeah, this guy's been an arsehole and that kind of stuff. And so I don't think she minded too much. But even still, I'm like, you know, I'm trying not to be a petty guy. I'm trying not to be, but it's getting harder and harder. Like, I can't lie, it's just getting harder and harder to not be petty. And especially like with the drivers, I think that's the thing, especially with drivers, and it's usually male drivers. Like, in fact, not even usually, it's always male drivers. No, let me say usually male drivers. 99% of the time it's male drivers. And like I said, I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, if I was to guess, I'm sure it's something to do with some unresolved childhood trauma or something, or, you know, maybe they got bullied as kids and now it's their time to act as if, you know, or whatever. Or maybe they're like some boss in some company somewhere, and they're used to everybody kissing their ass. So when they get out, they kind of think that everybody owes them something, but they're just always angry. They're just always angry over the dumbest things. Like, okay, I was in this guy's way, fine, I can move out your way, then you drive past, problem solved, right? You know. But in other instances, it's like when I'm slowing down so I don't run into something, I got somebody mad at me because I'm slowing down. It's like, I'm not gonna drive into things for you. Like, I don't know why are you angry? You know what I mean? Why are you angry? And it's not even like a little bit mad. Like, I mean like angry. Like, people be like shouting sometimes and calling you. It's like, but it's all while driving away. Like, it's always while driving away. They're never gonna get out of their car and actually do something, because it seems to me like it's just a way of trying to intimidate people, even though I'm not intimidated by that kind of nonsense. So no, it's so yeah. That was my day, getting petty. I did a petty thing on Elliot last week. Okay, well, what's that story? Wait, you did a petty thing on Elliot? Or did Elliot do a petty thing on you? When Elliot gets paid, he always gives me a certain amount, and I take care of all the household stuff. Last week, he decided to give me less, so when I did the shopping, I accidentally on purpose forgot to buy his beer. You know what? That just makes sense. I mean, if you don't have enough money to get all the things you need, then something's gonna give, right? Something's gonna give. Something's gonna give. It's like you can't buy it with nothing, so it's like, all right. Just gonna have to re-budget, you know? Rework these finances. All right, well, I'm working with less money, so I guess there's less things to something's gonna, you know, come off this list. Oh, speaking of McDonald's, actually, I saw a video today on Insta, and it was this couple talking about they were in McDonald's in I think it was Malaysia, and I guess it's kind of known that different McDonald's in different parts of the world have different food items, right? But in Malaysia, apparently they have this thing. I can't remember what they called it, but it's effectively porridge with chicken, and it sounds weird, right? But I'm like, I want to try that. You know? It's like porridge with like bits of chicken in there. Like, I was like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I don't know why anybody hasn't tried it over here, or if they have, then I don't know about it. But that sounds like a good idea. Porridge and put pieces of chicken in it. I'm gonna have to try that. All right. Let's start this. Well, we're talking about this. Yeah. See, you're gonna be really nice or really horrible, right? There's no in between. All right, let's come over here and get this ready. So we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, play. It's episode 14, season 1, episode 14, Gender Bender. Hope you're ready on 0. 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, it's gotta be nice though, because porridge is quite nice. Well, I mean, porridge isn't nice, but it's okay. Like it's like if porridge like on its own, like no sugar, no syrup or nothing, just porridge on its own is fine. Like it's kind of bland, but it's fine. And then chicken is nice, right? Because I feel like if you put something bland with something nice, you should get a pretty decent combination, right? Should. Porridge with syrup. Porridge with syrup is nice though. Golden syrup. I like porridge with syrup. I like I mean, I guess it's been a while since I've had porridge, but yeah, like a little bit of golden syrup, maybe a little bit of sugar. Even though you don't really need to actually only put golden syrup in there. Oh, what's going on here? This episode's called Gender Bender. This actually might be a very is it poignant? In fact, is that a word? It might be an episode that's very relevant for today. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't believe in a little bit. Sorry. Wait, did I miss something? Don't believe in. Right. Oh, what? Is one going to change into a man now? Oh, right. A little bit, sir. Okay. Gotcha. all the syrup on there. Syrup is apparently quite easy to make. I've never tried it, but I've seen a video of it being made, and it's looked pretty easy. So I'm like, all right, I might have to try it one day. But you just kill him by looking at him. So, was that a woman disguised as a man, or a man disguised as a woman? Like, what's the true form? Hey, isn't that Seth Green? I swear that's Seth Green. I can't see too well in this light, but it looks like Seth Green. Probably isn't. Seth Green might have been quite young back when this was being filmed. Like, young, I mean. Remember this episode? Okay, cool. The gender bender. X-Files dealing with trans issues before trans issues were dealing with trans issues. Boop, boop, boop. The truth is out there. Scully just says it's hard to imagine somebody having sex with a perfect stranger in this day and age. This is the 90s. I think that's like happened a lot, so. Pheromones. I have this trans friend I've been friends with for years. She did a whole rant the other day about people taking a piss out of Sam Smith, and I thought, I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta drink water and keep quiet. Like, you know what? And people are like, so what do you think of that? Yeah. Yeah, I tried listening to Sam Smith's album actually, and I just couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through it. It's like it's I don't want to say it's bad. It's just not for me. Let me just put it that way. It's not for me. So like, good luck to them, but it's not for me. It's like, all right, you do you, but I think I listened to like the first like 2, 3, maybe 4 songs, and I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to hear the rest of this. I think his videos should be age restricted. That's it. I ain't seen any of his videos. Oh, no, I haven't seen any of his videos. But yeah, I've heard a few complaints. Oh, you know what? Did you hear about the what was it, the drag queens that were reading to kids? And you know, a lot of people complaining about it, saying, "Oh, they don't want their kids with drag queens," blah 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 blah. And you know, a lot of the same kind of things of, you know, not homophobic. Well, I guess drag queen. I don't know what the word is, but you know, a lot of kind of complaints about that, right? But then I see this video, because at first I'm thinking if it's just reading, whatever, you know. But then I see this video. And they were not reading. Like, they were not reading. Like, this video was legit disgusting. Like, I'm talking like adults, like grown adults, doing like mad kind of sexually suggestive dances in front of toddlers. And it was like, nah. Nah. And the kids are like with their parents, and the parents are kind of clapping and cheering it on. It's like, nah. Are these like Amish people or something? But yeah, that video was just like, oh, mate. Like, that is clearly not reading to kids. That's not, they're not sitting down with a book. Nah. They had all their butt cheeks all out and doing all kinds of men. I was like, nah. The parents are there just like clapping it on. Hey, I'm not here to tell nobody how to parent their kids, but bruh. Oh, Scully's gonna be the next victim. That thing that he was doing though, the when he was holding Scully's hand and he was like gently like using his thumb to rub her hand. That's the move. That's the move. I'm just saying, like, guy does that. That's a message being sent. Yeah, we have pantomimes. They always have drag in pantomimes. That's fine, but there was stuff. No, yeah, I mean, drag performance has been around for years, right? In children's entertainment, like, I mean, I think I can remember seeing stuff when I was a kid. Man, in fact, I think they had some stuff when I was in school. Like, they did like a play, and they had like some kind of. I guess they weren't professional drag queens, but you know, they had guys and you know that sort of stuff. So it's not new. And yeah, it could be fun, whatever, you know, yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, no, what these guys were doing, nah, it was so over the top. Like, imagine like taking like a imagine taking like a 5-year-old kid to a strip club. Okay, okay, they weren't stripping, but you know, that kind of dancing, that kind of thing. So imagine a strip club without the stripping. That's basically what it was. A strip club without the stripping, but pretty much everything else that was going on is like, yo. Don't do it, Scully. Don't trust her. Live in strange times indeed. Those are government issue weapons. I'm just going to give them to some complete strangers. It's like Little House on the Prairie right now. Excuse me. Sorry. It's burped in your ear right now. My bad. Sorry. As it called right wing because my opinion on it. And I'm like, when what's common sense and boundaries considered right wing, I don't get it, but these are the times we live in. That's not a right wing thing though. That's just like, yeah, it's just like there's certain things that's just not okay, you know. But I do think there's a feeling of people being so afraid of being called, whether it's homophobic or transphobic or anything along those lines, that they'll just agree to anything just to kind of prove how liberal they are. And then it's like, that's not what liberalism is supposed to be about though. I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, you live and let live, blah, 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 but ultimately it's like, you are also responsible. I mean, we're all responsible for the youth, you know, whether you're parents or not. We all have a responsibility for you know, children and young people coming up, whether it's protecting them in some way or not exposing them to things before they're ready, you know, or allowing grown-ups, like grown adults, to hike up their undies or whatever, their G-strings, and shake their batty in front of children. Like, nah, like, and all touching themselves up and all that kind of stuff. Like, bro. Oh, this guy's getting mad. That's how you know he's guilty. That's how you know he's guilty. He's getting mad already. After they invite him to come sit, and he's like getting mad. Like, you have no right to be here. Guilty. We live with these days. It needs to be progressive. If you're not progressive, you're right wing. I think it's just all extremes right now, isn't it? Like, everything just exists in extremes. And part of it is just the way it's internet culture, right? But internet culture sometimes bleeds out into real life, you know, at least so it seems. But yeah, it's like right wing, left wing, like none of these are bad things. They're just, you're not supposed to take them to the extreme. I feel there's more people far more concerned with scoring points and protecting their side and their identity than just actually listening to reason and saying, well, wait a minute. Certain things are just not okay. Going for a corporation. Good night. Oh, Mulder's got a hunch. I used to be a lefty. I thought being on the right was the worst thing. I did my own research. I see good and bad on both sides, but I can't deal with the extreme. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. And there's just so much of that now. So much of, like, I mean, I get it. It's like it's what gets attention, right? But it's not what helps any kind of real dialogue when people just try to live in these extremes so they can draw attention to themselves. But yeah, I think as time goes on, And as it gets harder and harder to get attention, you're probably going to see more and more extremes. And we've seen some pretty bad extremes already. But yeah, man, it's like, but I was saying the other day, like, when people have opinions and it's just their opinion, I don't feel like I need to get involved. But when somebody takes their opinion and puts it out into the real world to have real world consequences, real world effects, it's like, yo, that's not okay, man. That is not okay. Bro, Muller's been spotted. Well, suspected at least. Man's a FBI agent, he can't sneak around. Can't sneak up on some Amish people, come on now. Fire this guy. Showing the way we treat each other, it's not, yo, indeed. It's even like, you know, I don't know, like Brexit, when that was going on, like when in the sort of height of Brexit, it was technically still going on, right? But in the height of Brexit, when all that was happening, and you know the voting, and you know the people wanted to remain, people wanted to leave, and that actually broke up families. Like there were legit families that don't speak to each other because of what they decided to vote for, whether they decided to leave or decide to stay. And that's crazy when you think about it. Like, I mean, look, I could understand that sometimes a person's viewpoint of a thing could end up exposing other things about them, right? And I guess in cases like that, depending on what exactly it exposed about them, it might make sense to maybe not talk to your family for that. But when it's just like a difference of opinion, somebody thinks this thing, you think this thing, and that's really all it is. It's like, bro, you don't need to be splitting up. Well, unless the guy's just an arsehole anyway, then maybe. But you don't need to be splitting up your family just because you have a difference of opinion. And his family had a gut move to voted remain. Oof. Yeah, one of my friends was talking about, was telling me about his, I think it was his granddad, I think he said, but yeah, somebody in his family that voted to leave, and he's voting to stay, and he was talking about having a sort of an argument with him, and kind of feeling like he doesn't know if he could even speak to him again. And I think I said to him something like, you know, everybody's gonna have different opinions on these things, and you know, just because their opinion goes against yours, that doesn't automatically mean that, you know, they're a bad person. You know, I mean, I don't know the guy's granddad. Maybe he's an arsehole. Maybe yes, but that in and of itself doesn't mean he's a bad person. And if there's somebody who's been good to you and you don't have any other reasons to hate the guy, then, you know, just have to accept that you're just not going to agree on everything. I don't know what happened afterwards. I mean, he seems to be thinking about it and hopefully come to some kind of like more reasonable solution as to not kicking his granddad out of his life. But yeah. But yeah, there's like people who like don't speak to their parents, or you know, things like that, and because one voted this way, the other voted that way. And a lot of it's just this whole, it's just extreme. Oh, if you vote for this, that means you must be this type of person. It's like, nah, it doesn't mean that. maybe would have considered leave a bit more at the main thing not being based on immigration. I saw far too much racism in that time, and I didn't like one bit. Yeah, I mean the Leave campaign was kind of bogus. Well, to be fair, the Remain campaign wasn't always that great either. But the Leave campaign was kind of bogus. I mean, I think the biggest problem they had is, from what I can remember, maybe not the biggest problem, certainly one of the biggest problems they had is that they pretty much let that guy Nigel Farage hoodwink everybody, you know, talking about, oh yeah, we're going to save so much money that we're going to give to the NHS, you know, and that kind of thing. And then what happened? Where's that money? Where NHS ain't getting nothing. And Nigel Farage went pissed off to some other countries to not have to deal with it. Marty's the bad guy, huh? But yeah. But I think, to be fair though, that whole thing did bring out a lot of ugly sides in people. You know, put some of the ugly sides in some people. I think that is fair to say. Like, it wasn't all nice, and it definitely did bring out some horrible opinions that some people have been harboring. Yeah, so right through. Yeah, that was why I voted Remain. The argument, I mean, it wasn't strong enough. Yeah, for me, it just felt like, what was the point of leaving? You know, like, there didn't seem to be anything to gain by not being in the EU, but so much to lose by not being in the EU. And it was just like, why shoot yourself in the foot like that? And since the leave, it's like, yeah, like, this has gone up, that's gone up. It's harder to travel, you know. I'm not sure we've had any real benefits, to be honest. I mean, maybe there has been some, and I've missed it, but I'm not sure we've seen any benefits from leaving just yet. And to be fair, it could be a while before we do start seeing any benefits from leaving. But in what, the 2-3 years, whatever long it's been since it's been official, like, where's the good bit? Is there any inkling of a good bit to come? This guy knows more than he's letting on. So I just try to kind of get some. He's trying to make wait. He's putting the moves on Scully and she can't resist. It's the hand thing. It's the hand thing. Get off her. He's one of these clans that would rather protect a rapist than let the truth come out. Or are they going to let them go? Well, of course they're going to let them go. We've got like 11 more seasons of this. I think immigration's a good thing. I'm never going to be against it. Sure, it's not perfect and not wrong and slip through the cracks, but how many wrong-uns are British? Well, indeed, and that's it. It's like you can't blame all Britain's problems on immigrants because that's just not true, right? It's just not true. I mean, yeah, there are some immigrants that come and, you know, do whatever, and, you know, maybe they can commit crimes or skank the system, and but yeah, like you said, there's plenty of Brits that do that. So the idea that we can solve all our problems by not allowing other people from other countries here. Meanwhile, most of the best things we have in this country are from other countries. Our whole language is from another country. You know, it's like, oh, what are we doing? Right, the history of Britain is a history of taking things from other countries, like literally. And now it's like, oh yeah, you can't come here. So what? What's left? I mean, if you took everything that's British that didn't come from Britain, you would not be left with much. We don't need food from other countries. We can make our own. They soon change their minds when you say no more. Those Turkish kebab. All right, exactly. What would we be left with? Like, what is truly British? Like British originated. What would we be left with when it comes to food? Like, I mean, potatoes grow in England, right? I think. I know a lot of them come from Ireland, but I think we do grow potatoes in England, right? So I think we might still have potatoes. Chicken tikka. Yeah, that's British. Yeah, we'll keep it chicken tikka. Yeah, that's British. But yeah, a lot would go. Like if you took stuff from other countries away, a lot would go. Alright, kebab shops. What else? Pretty much, well, McDonald's technically, because they're not British. KFC. We might not even have proper coffee shops. We'd just be left with those cafes. You know those cafes where when they bring you tea, it's in a mug and there's no saucer. Alright, I don't think these things through. I would literally starving, right? What would we be eating though? I think it's just no. It's gotta be more than just potatoes. There's gotta be more than just potatoes. We gotta have more than that, right? We gotta have more than that. What do we grow in Britain? Right, what? Let me see. Let's see if I can find which foods grow in Britain. Let me see a quick search. Okay, so we'd have apples, beetroots, Brussels sprouts, carrots, celeriac? I don't know what that is. But also celery, chicory, Jerusalem artichokes. I ain't no expert, but I think Jerusalem artichokes are probably from Jerusalem. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like they're probably not British. We have kale, leeks, mushrooms, onions, parsnips, pears. So we got a few things. We got a few things still, but yeah. We have to start being creative with our food, though. We have to rely on food that only grows here. Let's start getting real creative. Which, to be fair, might not be a bad thing. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, Scully got knocked out. Oh, well, she's not knocked out. Of course, Mulder sees it. Scully doesn't. Yeah, sometimes my ladies like to order in, right? Where can you order from? If we're only doing British stuff, though, you have to order from, like... Bro, you have to order from, like, Tesco's and then make it yourself. Like, I don't even think you could order from, like, a takeaway place, because all of them... I don't think any of them are... like, is there an actual British takeaway? I mean, what? Maybe fish and chips. Okay, you can get fish and chips. You can get fish and chips, or maybe a Savoy. Right, that's it. Fish and chips and a Savoy. This guy killed a bunch of people and he's saying, please don't hurt him. He's going to try and touch her hand again. She's got gloves on this time, though. Ain't going to work if you can't touch her skin. Shoot him, Scully. Point blank. Punched out. I ain't ordering in to cook it myself. I want crappy Turkish kebab. No, I ain't had a kebab for time, you know. I think I need to rectify that. Been a long time since I've had a... Actually, wait a minute. Maybe not a long time. Maybe not a long time. I think the last time I had a kebab was about a month ago. Now I'm thinking about it. But even still, it feels like a long time. Actually, no, maybe more than a month ago. But yeah, still it feels like a long time. Oh, they prepared. Crop circles. So what, these guys were aliens then? Who could think we crapping on immigrants? We ain't. We are crapping on British. But that's the first episode. Well, the first episode of this evening. Was body double. No, gender bender rather. Next episode, Lazarus, started in a few minutes, but yeah, that was an interesting episode. The whole gender bender thing. The guy who can change from one gender to another, uses it to kill people after boning them or getting boned by them. Possibly they were aliens, I guess, but we'll never know. We'll never know. And I guess we'll never really know what exactly it was because they all kind of disappeared. So unless there's a gender bender part 2, yeah, we may never find out what exactly they were. But yeah, interesting. All right, here's a question for the group, for everybody in chat right now. If you could have the absolute most best sex of your life, like mind-blowingly beyond anything you could imagine, best, like just so good, like you can't even rate how good it is. It's that good. Like it's just beyond anything you can imagine good. You could have that, but you'll die right away. Like you'll die like within like 5 minutes after having it. So you get to enjoy it for like maybe 5 minutes, you know, afterwards, like but you're dead. Like you're not gonna live. Like you will be dead afterwards. Would you still do it? Would you still do it? Like if you could have the mind-blowingest sex, but you're gonna die right afterwards, would you still do it? Because if so, I might have a proposition for you. I mean, it'd be mind-blowingly disappointing, but it's still mind-blowing, right? You would probably be non-binary in 2023. Yeah, you can't say gender bender anymore. This was like 1993, 92. So this is like 30 years ago. 30, maybe more than 30 years ago. This was. So yeah, you can't say gender bender no more. You got to be like, yeah, was it gender fluid? Non-binary gender fluid. Oh, I've got stuff to watch. I gotta catch up on my shows. This is my podcast. New season of Stranger Things is coming on soon, so I don't think so. Let me get through a few things. Lazarus is described as the consciousness of a dangerous criminal possesses an FBI agent who is also Scully's ex-boyfriend. Ooh, so that's season 1, episode 15. Lazarus will start that in a moment or two. But yeah, for now, get it ready on 0 if you haven't already. And I'll let you know when to press play. But yeah, I don't know what I'll do actually. I mean, I think the best answer, or they say the correct answer, would be to say no, right, and not do it. I can't lie though, I'm probably tempted way more easily than than I'd like to admit. It may not even have to be a promise of it being that good. I'm just saying, I'm easily tempted. I'm just saying, like it doesn't take much. So no is the correct answer. Don't there. Do as I say, not as I do. Like no is the correct answer. I'll just leave that there. All right. Yeah. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? I'm just saying, no is the correct answer. Just don't worry about what I actually do. Just no is the correct answer. Just actually, to be fair, I did turn down a blowjob once. So I guess I got some willpower. It was a crackhead offering it, but I turned it down nonetheless. That means I have some willpower. That's a true story, by the way. Oh man, I was coming out of this club in Mayfair. And Mayfair, by the way, is one of the posh parts of London. Like, it's literally like if you play Monopoly, you know, the most expensive part of the Monopoly boards, that's Mayfair. Because, yeah, it's a mad posh part of London. But yeah, it's coming out of this club in Mayfair. And just walk in, and literally maybe, I don't know, within a few seconds of me leaving this place, like, this crackhead's coming up to me. And at least I assume she was a crackhead anyway, to be fair. I don't see her sniffing crack, but she very much looked like the typical kind of crackhead that you'd see on TV. And she was jittery and all that kind of stuff. And first she was asking if I had any money, and I said no. And then she offered me a blowjob, and I was like, I'll pass. I think I'm okay, thanks. So yeah, I do have some willpower. Just saying. Just saying. How much was she charging? I didn't ask actually. I probably should have. For free or? I should tell her that I keep my crack supply in my ball sack, and you gotta suck it all the way out. You gotta suck hard to get it out, real hard. It'll be the first time. But yeah. I was interesting experience. But yeah, I don't typically hang around in Mayfair. It just happened to be there that day. It was like I was out with some friends, and we're initially just gonna meet and have a meal, But then I don't know who suggested it, but somebody suggested about going to a club, and I'm thinking, nah, I just want to go home. I'm not really dressed for a club, and I'm not really into that whole thing. But they're like, no, just come. And then one lady was like, yeah, I'll pay for your entry. So I figured, well, it's free. Right, I'm getting it free. Why not? So yeah, we went there. It was alright. It was fun. You know, the club was fine. But yeah, when it was like time for me to leave, I was like, all right, cool. I'm a jet. Appreciate you paying my entry. I'm gonna go home, step out this place, and it's like, yeah. All right then. All right. That's how you do it in Mayfair. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Lazarus now, shall we? Lazarus came back from the dead. I was trying to think of a link between coming back from the dead and blowjobs and crack, but I'm not sure I can actually, to be honest with you. So, but if there is a link between coming back from the dead, blowjobs and crack, then yeah, let me know. Let me know. All right then. So, if you want to get it ready on 0, and we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, play. So 3, 2, 1, play. Is this guy supposed to be Scully's ex-boyfriend? Because this guy looks old enough to be a dad. Be right back. Aight. Oh, they're gonna fail. The mode says, "Oh, you are my luck." No, they're gonna fail. Somebody's gonna get shot. We got Bonnie and Clyde. Is he wearing scrubs? Yo, Scully did not hesitate. But truthfully, I mean, if they knew that there was gonna be an armed robbery, they should have worn bulletproof armor underneath their clothing. Like, why would you not do that? I don't think you could do that, Scully. Like, you can't just, I mean, you might be a doctor, but you can't just, like, take over. No, you're not in charge there. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just doing what she says. Like, well, she said she's a doctor. Or they transfer souls or something. Well, well, well. Christopher Alport. Was it Allport? Music by Mark Snow. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's just seeing himself in the mirror now. I mean, he didn't notice his body was looking different when he's putting his clothes on. He wants his ring back. I mean, fair. builder's got some ideas. Break into your own house. Wow. So if he was tracking him for over the year, then they probably know what he looks like. It's like Face Off to an extent, where he was like obsessed with like catching Castor Troy. Elliot fixed the PlayStation internet. Nice. Back online. That's a. I mean, I'm supposed to be like the wild fairy guy, but come on. How'd you get to that? So you just solved the case in like the first 10 minutes. And I had a wee, made a drink, and got a pack of crisps. Oh, you were what's the word? Multitasking. That's the right word. Productive. There we go. You were productive. Well, happy ending. Yeesh. I've been pretty productive all day today. I'm tired now. You've earned your rest. Earned your R&R. So now that the PlayStation Internet works, what's the first thing you're going to do with it? But apparently that's what happened. He doesn't want to shoot you lying down so he stands up. Just stay lying down so he won't shoot you. Blue the Phillips. After I got the kids home from school and it took about 2 hours today, I did their tea. Did 2 loads of washing, did a few other things, sat down. So he says, Mom, why are you so lazy? Oof. Oof. Man. Sophie. Well, if Sophie doesn't become queen one day, she could become a really good battle rapper. Put something on to fall asleep to. Snaps over their head. Playful, of course. But that's kind of the way it goes, though, when, like, you know, you do various things around the house and to, you know, to keep the house, whether, you know, clean and running and things like that. But because nobody else sees it, they just assume you're not doing anything. So it's like the moment you sit down or the moment you, like, you know, have like a little reprieve, it's like, oh, you ain't doing anything. Oh, excuse me. Sophie does actually rap sometimes. She has in the past made some raps up. Okay. So yeah, battle rapping could be in the future. Gonna need a rap name though. What can Sophie's rap name be? Bowler's on to you though. Sophie Slays. So that goes to your name at the moment. Sophie Slays, alright. Left-handed. And it's not Scully's birthday, is it? Sophie Slays. She likes roasting people in the moment. She told me the other day I'm so ugly, even Bob the Builder couldn't fix me. Oh. You gotta start saying something back. I mean, to be fair, if she's gonna be a bat rapper, she has to be able to dish it out and take it. So you might have to start saying stuff back to prepare her for that. Yeah, come on, Moldy, you can do better than that. Someone's getting mad at me. I laughed and said, that's good actually. Let's see, how can we turn it into a rhyme though? Let's see. You're so ugly, even Bob the Builder couldn't fix you. Let's say, you're so ugly, Bob the Builder couldn't fix you. Every time you sneeze. Nah, I ain't a rapper. I ain't a rapper. I'll leave that to Sophie. She's gonna have to come up with the rhymes at some point. Manager. In a world where everyone is super sensitive, be a Sophie because she does not remotely care about your feelings. Yeah. Emotions could be a tricky thing. They can serve you well, or they can serve you not so well. Bro, this guy's bugging. But the thing about feelings and emotions is that, as harsh as this may sound, I think this is true. Ultimately, your feelings are only important to you. You know. Now, I'm not saying that means people should just be inconsiderate and just be rude for no good. I'm not saying that. No, of course not. That's never a good thing. But ultimately, in the end, your feelings are only really important to you. Nobody else is obligated to care. You know, they might care, and if they do, great, but they're not obligated to. I think like what seems to be happening like these days is oh, what's he gonna do? Uh-oh, Scully's in trouble. That's a part. Oh, I get autism. I actually admire her because she has zero filter. Yeah. Say what's on your mind. That's something that well, I don't know if it's a good. I don't know if all adults would benefit from that, but yeah. I think sometimes, yeah, we definitely do need to be less filtered. Maybe not all the way, but yeah, certainly less filtered. You know, we I think as we go through life and we assimilate to society and culture, we tend to conform to certain things, and we don't always say what we're really thinking or really feeling. And you gotta sometimes, like I say, your feelings are only important to you, but you do have to be able to express them. Yeah. I just feel like sometimes people need to take a step back and be like, yeah, you get to express yourself. Yes, you get to say what you think and what you like, what you don't like, how you feel about things. But when it gets to a point where people are treating their own opinions as if they are facts, that's always going to become a problem, because facts and opinions don't exist in the same realm. Not really. I feel like a lot of life is trying to balance out how emotional you should be and how irrational you should be in any given situation. You know, like you can never be too emotional or too rational, but you can never be devoid of emotion or devoid of rationale. You know, you're trying to find a balance of how much emotion to apply and how much rationale to apply, and that's difficult. I know it's easier said than done, and in most cases you're going to get it wrong. But as long as you're aware of that and try to balance those things out, then even if you get it wrong, you should at least hopefully not get it too wrong, you know. It's gonna make a breakthrough. Mixing memories. Sophie's feeling intense emotions and can't express. Then she draws it on my walls or has meltdowns. Draws on the walls. Wow. You guys must spend a lot of money on wallpaper. That's an empty can. Landon has Sophie's artwork all over it. If you've got pictures of it, put them on the fridge. Well, I guess you don't need to put them in the fridge on the landing. So yeah, maybe not. That's in the walls. Man, this episode's pretty intense though, I ain't gonna lie. to eventually burn out. Wait a while, possibly when she moved out. How old she was at 8, right? So at least another 10 years. Actually, no. Let's be real. In this economy, it might be another 20 years at least. Uh-oh. It was the girl all along. She's 10. Yeah, at least another 20 years or so. Maybe even more. The way the house prices are going up these days and rent's so expensive. Jules was bothering her. It's quite clever, really. Maybe eventually you could turn a whole house into a museum. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, excuse me. Yeah, no, actually, you could give her tips. She wants to be a YouTuber. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll give her some tips. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't bother. Just don't. That's. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think anything creative, expressive is a good thing, whether that's YouTube or anything else. But yeah, if you are gonna do YouTube, then yo, what up, Mr. Man? Then yeah, be prepared for. Well, you need to have a lot of patience and a lot of remind yourself why you even do it in the first place. Pretending I'm gonna buy a house. I tend to book viewings, then realize I can't afford this shit. So, yo, Mr. Man, yo, Brax Bivvy in a place to bivvy. What up? Yeah, I think I mean, if you're talking about buying a house, like an actual house, not talking about like buying an apartment, like a house, like, you know, in the ground, foundation, 3-4 rooms house. Yeah, that's getting harder and harder and harder. And for a lot of people, it's like not even a realistic possibility. These houses are so expensive right now. Unless you go to Hull, I think if you get a house for like 20 quid, because nobody wants to live in Hull. So if you want to buy a house, go to Hull. I think they just give you houses for free because like nobody wants to be there. It was like, we'll give you the house for free. You won't even have to pay for it. Just please, we need people. Good, awesome. £800 a month mortgage. Nah, I'm good. £800 mortgage is probably about average, or I don't know, maybe even a little less than average, really. And I look on Rightmove all the time and think one day, yeah. Virtually Terrace. Same, I'm always window shopping. Yeah, I've done it a few times. Moving abroad in the next 5 years. I'm out. Ugh. I don't even blame you. There's places around the world you can buy houses like tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like you could just go there and buy a house because like they're so cheap. People trying. Younger people trying to get themselves started, especially in California, MIT, Texas, or maybe in Florida, with the cost of living decent over. No, for sure. Yeah, I'm hoping to. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to buy a property this year, but hopefully I'll be able to get the ball rolling on a property purchase this year. If not, actually bought one, you know. But yeah, like it's probably not going to be a house. You know what I mean? It's probably not going to be a house. Oh. Love D. Doesn't quite do it justice, does it? mode of being all diplomatic. But yeah, man. Well, that was what's the episode called again? That was Lazarus. Of course, makes sense. That was a really good episode. I actually, yeah, that was really intense. Like, I mean, it's kind of this was 1993. When was Face Off? Face Off might, you know, this might have been before Face Off actually. So I think Face Off was like 1996 or something like that. Let me see real quick. 1997 actually. So yeah, this is before Face Off. So maybe Face Off copied these guys actually. But yeah, no, that was a really good episode. You know, he comes back to life. They don't know for sure if it's him or the other guy, and seemingly the other guy, the tattoo appears. So that's kind of a big hint. But then, was it just memories bleeding through and something else going on? But yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. But yeah, the next episode, Young at Heart, the final episode of the evening, number 16, episode 16, Young at Heart. I'll start it in a few moments, but for now, just get it ready on 0, and I'll let you know when to press play. Yep, still it can be done by anyone who wants a decent living. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always a way things could be done, right? It's just like in terms of, I don't know, let's say your average earner, like what can they afford? Because unless you manage to get yourself out of that bracket, like if you're earning this much, but to be able to afford a house, you need to be earning this much. You know, that's like a few brackets up you need to get yourself out of, right? So it can be done, but it's not going to be an easy thing to do. You're right, you know, and certainly the more people do it, the harder it's going to get for other people coming up. So the goalpost is constantly moving as to what you need to do to get yourself into a position to buy a decent house. It's going to be like an ever-moving goalpost, because once you get to that point where you finally got yourself out of that bracket, you know, a bunch of other people have done it as well. So now the prices go up and everything's moved again. So now you got to get yourself to the next bracket. And it's just like, it could become like, or at least the feeling of this never-ending chase for something that just feels so unattainable. That's where the woman comes in to help each other's credit up. Oh right, yeah. To have a partner, yeah. Well, as long as your partner's got good credit, it helps. If your partner's got bad credit, might make things worse. I'm just saying. Okay, my goal is a decent $100,000 or $200,000 house in the old neighborhood. Again, and I can sit my ass down somewhere. I was looking to move out and live with her friend, but I told her she needs to be realistic because she doesn't get enough working hours. She needs another job. Yeah, I mean, do you mean like her friend or a girlfriend? Because if you mean like just like friends, yeah, I don't know if I'd I mean, I guess it depends on the friend, right? Some people are cool, but I just feel like, I mean, I've never lived with a friend, but you know, sometimes you're traveling with people and you kind of get an inkling of what it might be to live with them. And yeah, people could be messy. You know, people could be like, you know, not paying the rent on time. You know what I mean? Things like that. And when it's your friend, it's like that could drive a massive wedge in your relationship with them. And sometimes, like, some people are cool when you're not around them all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you can talk, you could be cool with them, you could be friends with them when you see them, you know, for a few hours a day or a few hours or whatever it is. But when you're around them like all the time and you live with them and you're seeing their habits and they're seeing and all that sort of stuff, and you got to figure out how to, and it's a friend. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like your partner, then it's a bit different because, you know, I think you'd be more willing to balance out certain things when it's like when it's your partner, because that's kind of how relationships go, right? But when it's a friend, you know, like nah, like come on, man. It's like, bruh. Not to say that's okay for anybody to just be dirty and clean and not pay the bills. I ain't saying that, but you know what I mean. It's just in general, certain things you could put up with a bit more if it's a partner, whereas if it's your friend, it's like nah. $70K and up is when someone is doing well. $70,000 and up. Okay, so what's that in real money? Let me see here real quick. I don't know if you caught that joke, by the way, but yeah. All right. Let me see here. Well, $70,000 in pounds sterling. I'm trying to get an understanding of what that is. I think I know, but let me just double check real quick. All right, $70,000 is 56,325. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good wage for sure. I would say that in the UK though, you can probably do okay on less than that. Like, not significantly less, but you could probably do pretty okay on less than that. Like, for example, you could, I mean, you might struggle a bit in places and not everything's going to be like super easy or whatever, but you know, you could probably do pretty okay on less than that, I think. But yeah, you probably don't want to go way less. Girlfriend just went full time, but she looked out as she is right to buy. They get good discounts on a council house. Apparently, so mortgage approval, very likely. It's all new to me. Yeah, I've heard of the right to buy scheme actually. I looked into it a little bit, and I don't think I qualify, which just sucks because yeah, you do get pretty good deals. But I might want to double check again because I can't remember the reason why I didn't qualify. So yeah, I might have to check again now that I'm closer to looking. And who knows, maybe the rules have changed since then, right? So it was worth checking again. The only roommates I have as I'm in my apartment are my pets, figuratively speaking. Pets, figuratively speaking. Okay. You talking about your penis? Like, I mean, figuratively speaking, pets. Okay. All right. I mean, hey, listen. If you want to get an apartment and, you know, pleasure yourself, then hey, I ain't here to judge. I'm not here to judge you. Plenty of people do it, you know. Get yourself your own spot. You know, no ain't gonna disturb you. You know what I mean? Because if you're like living with people, you never know when someone's just come knocking on your door, or even worse, just come barging in. You don't know, right? You got your own place. You could like set the mood. You know what I mean? Put some candles up. Put them scented candles as well. Get some oils and everything. I'm saying, get yourself one of those like silk smoking jackets. You know, set the mood. Put some music on. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you could have yourself a good old time. Speaking, if I already had, oh right, okay, gotcha. I completely misunderstood that. But hey, sometimes you gotta take care of yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So man, you have to live in the house for a while first before you buy. Oh, yeah, she's been there for 8 years now, I think. Okay. And yeah, she should. I think it's 5 years. You have to live there for. The right to buy has its good and bad points upside. You pay a lot less on the bad side. It's because it's council house crisis. It's always something. There's always something. There is another one. I think it's called Help to Buy. I can't remember what the details of that one are, but there are a few schemes that exist. Excuse me. There are a few schemes that exist that I'm gonna start looking into again and see if any of them are qualified for any of them, or even if they're worth doing. Because they said it's like you said, it's good and bad to everything, right? It's pros and cons to everything. So, and what the hell dimension are you talking about? Ninja, shake my head. Hey, I'm just saying. Sometimes you need to take care of yourself. Sometimes. Excuse me. All right. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Okay, so let's get this next episode started. It's called Young at Heart. Get it ready on 0 if you haven't already. Yeah, council house these days. Oh, no, yeah, that's for sure. All right, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, play, and in 3, 2, 1, play. Young at Heart, final episode of the evening. Tashmoo Federal Correctional Facility, Pennsylvania. Good city, yeah, though. But yeah, it's getting hard. It's hard getting a council flat these days. It's been like that for a while, and various reasons for that, but yeah, it's tough. Oh, they cut it real bad. Yeah. I feel like with myself, though, when it comes to, say, government assistance and things along those lines. I mean, to be fair, I haven't always applied for stuff and haven't always looked into it, but for the few times that I have, it just kind of seems like... I'm too rich to qualify for government assistance, but at the same time too poor to do stuff like normally. So it's like just kind of in that gray area, I guess. Pandemic didn't help at all, but hey, we keep going. I never believed in the roommate thing. For those who do, all I can tell them is to do that with someone they know well. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but to be honest, even if you know the person well, no guarantee it's gonna work out right. But yeah, like that definitely helps. Rather than somebody that you just met. You have no idea what type of person they are. You have no idea what you get yourself into. I have no idea about benefits at all. My girlfriend hates it when I say she's on benefits. Who's buying it? Yeah. One way or another, it'll work out for all of us. Universal credit, but I get rid of because Elliot works so full time. I could get more, to be fair, if I put in for the LA for Sophie. Oh, is that this being out for Sophie? Because she's entitled to it, but something about it feels wrong to me. If you're doing okay without it, then yeah. Well, I don't know if you're doing okay, but I assume you're doing okay without it. As Mac has a job, I'm gonna have a sofa to sleep on. For real, for real. Anything happens, it's like, yo, bro. Coming over, yeah? Come to visit. Yeah, it's fine. Just a couple of days. Just a couple of days. 5 years later. Somewhat possible severe weather on the way for the week. Damn, man. You guys are getting ravaged by the weather right now. Do with it, let's be fair, but I don't know, it doesn't sit right. Yeah, it's that time of the year again. Well, it seems so. Looked into it, actually qualifies for middle rating. I've been told countless times to do it, but I haven't. Yeah, and if you don't have to, and let's say if it doesn't sit right with you, yeah, just find ways to Make do without it. And well, if ever, I mean, if it ever becomes a problem, that you know it's there for you, right? But until then. Oh, Molder. Yeah, I applied for, well, I didn't apply because it didn't qualify, but I was going to apply for, I forget what they call it now, but it was like the self-employed help scheme or something like that during the lockdown when that kicked off. And yeah, and I ended up not, as I was putting the thing through, it just telling me that I don't qualify for it. So I was like, all right, that sucks. That sucks balls, but yeah. Keep going. We keep going. But government do some shady things though, because apparently people who applied for that scheme or who used that scheme it's gonna be, if you use that scheme, it's gonna be harder to get a mortgage, which makes no sense at all because the whole thing behind it was to help people during. Oh, I've got Mulder. Who's he talking to? The whole thing of it was to help people during the pandemic, right? And then now they penalize people who applied for it. It's like, that's shady, man. For the split out, then I get kids allowance on top of it because she is the reason I get got work, but I see it as I'm a parent, it's my job. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I see what you mean. It's something that you do anyway and not necessarily like yeah, you're there anyway, like you're doing that anyway. 1993 technology. A guy who is a local councillor for the Dems. He also works as stagecoach and he gets full universal care. You know, there is a loophole he is taken full advantage of. So he's a local councillor, works for a company and collects universal credit, full universal credit specifically. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's probably legal what he's doing, right? It's probably legal, but like you said, just one of these things that maybe not everybody knows about, and even though it's legal, it just probably shouldn't be exploited, because that's what, 2 incomes plus universal credit. Taking money, taking bribes like a real politician. For sure. Or maybe he does take bribes, but they just call it universal credit so that his accountant can mark it down as something looking legal. You know, all these people into money laundering. Older. The rate was 10K according to ours. He's trying to get Elliot in on it. I said to him, you do what you want, but you're on your own. I can't support that. Yeah, the less you know, the better. The less you know, the better. When you say rates was 10K, do you mean like the accountant rate, or like what it costs to bribe a politician? The corrupt politician. Oh, okay, gotcha. 10,000 to bribe somebody. To be honest, that seems kind of low. I mean, I'm not saying I'll do it. I ain't got 10K to give to no politician. I'm just saying, like, you'd think if you're a politician, you'd want more than 10,000 to be bribed. You know what I mean? Like, because you're putting, like, your career on the line potentially and going into ill repute for 10,000? Local council back in the mid-90s. Okay, mid-90s rate. Maybe that's a bit different then. Sometimes we really struggle, and there are people worse off than us who are using food banks because they can't feed their kids or have eaten and just improve because of a loophole. No, I can't. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure you guys notice a lot of people just don't care. Like a lot of politicians, a lot of people in these positions, they just don't care. As long as they're fine, they don't care. Okay. Okay. Okay, and that's why Elliot doesn't have support if he ever chooses to do it. Yeah. Some things are more important than having lots of money. But yeah, and there's people struggling, especially right now. And there are those just scamming the system or exploiting loopholes. Oh, Reggie. Oof. Man, he got Reggie though. Well, I could use that money to buy food to donate. There is that, I suppose. Well, that's a moral quandary, isn't it? to gain money through immoral means, but use that money for moral things, you know. So you gain the money by, say, exploiting a loophole or some kind of scam, but then use that money to help poor people or, you know, people less fortunate. Does the good deed cancel out the bad deed, or does one outweigh the other? Robin Hood was a hero after all. Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. These politicians steal from the poor and give it to the rich. So if the guy didn't have a license, then progeria, accelerated aging. Yeesh. Yeah, I've seen that, Brax. Classic comedy. I watched a video on the other week about an old guy who had his benefit stopped because he couldn't make his appointment due to ill health, and he was left with gas, ration food. And he died due to... Oh man, that's sad, man. So because of ill health, he missed an appointment, and they stopped his benefits because of that. He was left alone in his flat for weeks before he was found. Had me in tears. Yeah, that's sad. But yeah, that's like happening, isn't it? Like people can't even afford to turn their heating on and just freezing in their own apartments and not getting much, if any, help. So yeah. Oh, excuse me. Alright, you see I got the hookup High School High. I've seen High School High. I haven't seen the other two. High School High is a good movie though. That was the spoof of Dangerous Minds with Mekhi Phifer and John Lovitz. Just a sweet innocent dance. Hey man, I don't know you're down with OPP. Yeah, people take advantage of these posts. It's not right. Ooh, excuse me. Oof. That's the only good thing when summer is here, because a cold house is a horrible place to be, better than the streets of New York. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Just sitting in your own home, freezing, just putting bare clothes on, trying to keep warm. It's like you're wearing all your winter clothes on indoors because you're just trying to keep warm. Watch the other two, they're funny. I got the hookup and tripping. My house can be colder than outside in the winter. Imagine that though. You know, it's actually warmer outside. You go sleep in the garden. So perhaps somebody who knows more about legal stuff and accounting might be able to say different, but my understanding as to some of these loopholes, like these sort of tax loopholes or credit loopholes and things like that, government benefit loopholes, is the reason why anybody can't just take advantage of them is because when it comes to, you know, your taxes and stuff like that, if you get audited and you don't have someone who can back you up, it is probably not going to go so well for you. You know, even though it's technically not illegal, you know, if you get audited, it's probably not going to go so well for you. So you'll need like an accountant and perhaps a lawyer to to back you up, because they'll be able to exactly, as if you audited, you need a consistent. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, because I guess they'll be able to, well, they'll know all the laws specifically and how to handle all of that. Whereas if you just do it on your own, and it's like, okay, yeah. I don't know, Mr. Oh wait, I'm not read up already. Okay, we good. All caught up. Man, it's got some mad Frankenstein doctor. What a fish. I make sure I wash my hair today when I shower. Okay. I mean, if you're showering, will you just wash your hair anyway? I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't. I mean, I'm assuming your hair is kind of like, well, not like mine right now, but like you actually have hair. But I'm kind of assuming like your hair is kind of like mine when it's grown out, where you could just kind of wash it. Like, I know if you've got like really long hair, you have to be careful about how many times you wash it because it could get really soaked and it takes long to dry, blah, blah, blah. But I think when you got more Afro style hair, Afro style is not the right word to use at all, but Afro hair, as long as it's not like massive, then yeah, you can pretty much wash it every day, really. All the gold is around my end, cheat the tax and claim, but that's because nobody looks when they do. Take a peek at your books. Good luck explaining. Yeah, I got a high top skin fade. My hair goes back fast, so when it gets wet, it grows back. Oh, I see. So you like to try and slow down the growth. You don't want to get wet too much. Okay, I get you. But yeah, man, when I started doing my own taxes, yeah, I did pull a few cheeky moves. I ain't gonna lie, I did. Nothing illegal, but you know, like I say, just a few cheeky things. In more recent times, I don't do that. Like, it just seemed like, even though I know I can probably get away with it or whatever, or I can still explain some stuff, because like I say, it's nothing illegal. I could explain it, but at the same time, it's like it kind of makes a mess when you're filing your taxes, because you got so many things, and it's like, you know what, for the sake of not having to add stuff and have like a messy tax report, tax file, I just leave stuff out, you know. Like, for example, like, you know, when we do the movie nights and I sometimes buy the movies, I could claim that as a business cost. But I just thought, nah, I don't want to do that. It's just long. Because they just have so many movies all being claimed as business costs. And it's like, you know what? I could explain that, but it's just long. Oh, Melvin. What's the bad anyway? Peace out, village. Yo, Mr. Man, appreciate coming through, dude. Big up to you and your crew. Sleep tight. Hope the bed bugs do not bite. But yeah, next stream should be on Thursday. Hopefully see you then. Thursday, 8 PM GMT, playing some games. Hopefully see you guys then. But for now, we've got about... How many we got? We've got about 7 minutes, just under 7 minutes left of the X-Files. We'll chat for a little bit. And then, yeah, I guess we'll be ending the stream not too long from now as well. It's a pretty interesting episode as well, though. Mulder's passed his first case where he made a mistake. Now it's coming back to haunt him. You got this guy who's aging backwards, that Benjamin Button. Oh, he's right there. Right there. You might want to careful that gun though still. He just blow the gun into his pants right in front of the... Well, I guess nobody on stage, and she was probably too busy looking at the cello to notice. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Oh. She had a vest on though, right? Shoot, Mulder. Shoot, Mulder. Oh, don't shoot Mulder. I'm saying Mulder, shoot. Yeah, she had a vest on. Yeah, there you go, see? need to get caught up on these X-Files episodes. It's kind of cool watching these again though. Like, I ain't seen it for so long, and a lot of them I don't even remember, to be honest. But I feel cool thing watching these again. Ooh. There's property and sales tax in the UK. Yeah, so sales tax, yeah, it's called VAT, value added tax, which is 20%. And that's added on most things that you buy. There's a few VAT exempt items, but most things would have VAT on it. But yeah. What's that movies? But that's next week. Well, when I can afford it. One of them is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, or the what was it, the bloody one? Was it Blood and Honey? Well, that was X-Files episode 16. That'll be the last episode we'll watch today. Next week, episode 17, EVE. That's pretty cool though. I like that. The John Barnett, you know, they thought he was dead, but it turns out he wasn't dead. He was just aging backwards due to some experiments that are being run, and he comes back to fulfill the promise he made to Mulder. But yeah, I like that, man. That was pretty cool. So yeah, definitely worth catching up on. Let me switch over to this screen. We'll chat for a little bit before we depart ways. Yo, Ben just coming through. Ben coming through at the end. It's all good. I appreciate you, Ben. Coming through as he's just about to end the stream. But hey, appreciate you coming through, Ben. Man like Ben. Whether you came for a little bit or came for a lot of bits, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Any amount of time you guys can spend with me, I appreciate it. So it's all good, man. Whether you come for the beginning, come for the end, come for the middle, or any part of it, I appreciate it, man. Big up to you. Big up for you to taking some time out of your day to chat with me. But yeah, we just watched X-Files episodes 14, 15, and 16. Some pretty cool episodes, especially 16 and 17. The first episode, though, what was the first episode again? That was forgettable. So clearly, it might not have been that good. I've forgotten what it was already. Literally forgotten what it was already. Where we at? 14. Oh, it was a gender bender one. Yeah. The gender bender. It was a gender bender episode. That was alright. Actually, that was pretty cool. That was quite an interesting episode. But I'll say, out of these three, I think I would go with probably 15. I think, was it 15? Yeah, Lazarus. Yeah, 15. I think that's the one I like the most. But they're all pretty good. But yeah, 15 I think is my favorite of these three for this week. But yeah, next week it'll be 17, 18, and 19. So that's EVE, Miracle Man, and Shapes. Yeah, but I've heard bad things about it, so of course I have to watch it. Indeed. Sometimes the crappy movies are the best movies. Speaking of VAT, actually, Brax, this is something that I've noticed you guys do in America. And some other countries do this as well, but I noticed you guys do in America, where you go into a shop and the price that you see on the label is not the price you pay. But the price that you see on the label is pre-sales tax. So like, if it says, I don't know, $20 or whatever, right? You don't pay $20. Like, you have to add on the sales tax to that $20, and then that's what you actually pay. And then maybe a tip depending on where you are. But the point is, like, the price you see on the label is not the price you pay. As some other countries do that as well, which is annoying when you come from the UK, because in the UK the price you see on the label is the price you pay. You know, so that's what I'm used to. If it says £20, I know I'm paying £20. I don't have to then add VAT tax to it, because that £20 already includes that VAT that gets added on anyway. So the price you see on the label is the price you pay, and it just makes things so much easier and less confusing. Because the bare times I was like in shops and when I was in New York, and because I'm so used to seeing it one way, like you get into the counter and like, wait a minute, oh yeah, because they add that, and it's like forgetting that and be like, oh, do I have enough money? And you know, it's yeah. So I'm just saying, I know America's not the only place that does it, but I feel like that's one thing that UK does, that the UK does right, that the price you see on the label is the actual price that you get asked for when you go to the till. You know, because it includes all the taxes and whatever else. You don't need to don't have to start doing mathematics in the shop floor. You know what I mean? You don't have to start being like, oh yeah, let me add 1, divide by 2, carry the 3. You know, you just know that's the price you're asking for. That's the price I pay. If I choose to give more, that's up to me. But the price you're asking for on the label is a price you ask for at the till. It's just less confusing. That's something I find frustrating when I'm stateside, that there toilets with massive gaps. Toilets with the massive gaps? What do you mean, like? I'm not sure I remember. Do you mean like the floor gap? Like the gap between the floor and the top and the door? I'm not sure I remember that specifically, to be honest, but yeah, I know I've seen toilets with like massive gaps like that, when the gap between the floor and the door is pretty huge. I'm not sure if it was in America, but I know I've seen toilets like that, and yeah, I don't like those either. I don't like those either. But no, you don't need to see that much. You don't. You really don't. Once you're in and you lock the door behind you, and it says engage on the outside, you don't need to see that much of it. Like, you don't. I went into one place, I think it was in Hoxton in London, and went to the toilet there, and the toilet door literally only covers your midsection. So like your head could be seen, your feet could be seen, you know, your feet and legs could be seen, and it just covered, the door just is enough just to cover just your midsection. I was like, nah. Just nope. I don't need to be nope. I mean, it's not so bad if you're peeing, I guess, if you stand up and pee. But if you need to do a number 2, it's like nope. It's helpful as well. The thing about the American that bugs me is the expectation of tips. To me, YouTube tip is good. I'm good, thanks, man. Yeah, the thing about tips are like, yeah, the expectation of it is, yeah, I don't. I mean, the thing is, I would say that my attitude towards tips has definitely changed over the years. Like, it used to be more the case of like, if it's a good service and that kind of thing, and it still kind of is that way. Like, I mean, if somebody's just being rude, like, I'm not gonna give you a tip. It's like, I'm not trying to do that. But I would say that I do try to give more tips now when I can, even if it wasn't necessarily great service. If it was at least, you know, good enough, you know what I mean, just decent enough service, I do try to give tips where I can. But yeah, that expectation, I don't like it. Yeah, when it's kind of like you know what I mean, like yeah, that kind of, it shouldn't be expected. It's like, if I do something, it's because either I want to do it. If I don't want to do it, then I don't have to. But when it's expected, for one thing, it makes me feel like I don't want to do it anymore. Like, because it feels rude to me to expect or to kind of ask for something like that. It's like, nah, like, if I'm going to give it to you, then I'm going to give it because I want to, not because you've decided that you know, like, but yeah, I think that's just a cultural difference between the UK and America, where tips in the UK, I think maybe until recently, hasn't really been much of a thing, whereas in America it's been a very kind of predominant part of how people get paid, and so you kind of grow up and live in that sort of way of thinking of it. But yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think when you're coming from the UK, it just doesn't. It feels rude. It feels rude. But I assume if you're in America, you live like that, and you're used to that, and that's the culture. I assume it's not rude to expect tips, you know, that way. But I don't know. Yeah, the Americans tell me that. Yeah, working in the field, I know how much they rely on tips, but the expectation is a no. Yeah. I was in last night. One goes down. Every service frustration when you get swarmed by staff as soon as you enter a store. You in stateside. I wondered where you were last night. Getting your Wi-Fi sorted. I've never been. Would like to. Yeah, it's a cool spot. I mean, well, I guess depends on where you go. Some of the stories Braxton tells us, well, I'm like, yeah, maybe I won't go there, you know. But I like New York. That's all I know. New York City. Off because I hadn't paid this month's bill, even though I still had time to pay. Oh, that's cheeky. So you're still within the time, and they cut you off. They should give you some kind of compensation for that, because that's clearly a mistake on their end. If you had time to pay it, like if it's not due until whenever, and you still had that time, and they cut it off early, then yeah, they should. I thought there should be some kind of compensation, whether, I don't know, a discount or something, or. Because they've put you out now. You know, you've now paid for a service that you haven't fully received, right? Because you paid for the month, you got 29 days rather than 30 days or however many days in this month is. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. Yeah, New York is cool, man. Definitely go for the food. Definitely go for the food. I mean, not all the food is great. Let me not big up too much, but they got really good food out there. The good food out there is really good. Put it that way. That's what I'm trying to say. The good food out there is really good. I never watched the OC. It was at Orange County. No, I never watched that. But that's set, I believe, in New York State, right? to be a part of it. New York, New York. Oh no, it's Orange County's in California. Never mind. I just looked up now. Orange County is actually in California. But no, I never watched the OC series. Misha Barton. I just looking her up now. I know that name. Where have I had this name before? Misha Barton. I've probably seen her in some. Oh, she's from Hammersmith. Okay, nice. Born in Hammersmith, London. That's not too far from where I grew up. But where have I seen this? I'm sure I've heard this name before. I think I've heard it recently as well. Feels like a name that I've heard recently. So let's see what's she been doing. What's she been in recently that... Oh, she was in the Sixth Sense. She's in Notting Hills. So I guess I've seen her and stuff. And oh wait, Neighbours. That's the thing. Oh, I see the name. Yeah, she's gonna be. She's. I think that's why I saw the name, because she's gonna be in the reboot Neighbours. That's why I see the name. Yep. You can go wherever down here. Just know where you're going and the area you're in. Just know. I would go to New York for the food. Hey, it's good food. Like, especially like the Magnolia Bakery. Like, honestly, I feel like the Magnolia Bakery is like worth the trip on its own. Like, their cupcakes are so good. And although you can get this pretty much anywhere in America, if you could find a street vendor doing a Philadelphia steak, the Philadelphia cheese steak, but it has to be from a street vendor. Like, if you go to the shops, I mean, you can get it from the shops, but you know, it's healthy. But if you go to a street vendor, they do it right. You know, go to a street, find a street vendor doing the Philadelphia cheesesteak. They do it right. I'm telling you, like, oh my days. It's I feel like till this day, it's probably the best piece of meat I've had in my mouth. And I don't care how that sounds. I don't care how that sounds. I don't care. It's true. And I've had some like good burgers and kebabs. You know, I like saying that, but the Philadelphia cheesesteak, it's oof. That's definitely worth the trip on its own. That really is. It's I grew up in Halsden, northwest London. So yeah, not far from Hammersmith. Hammersmith, I think, was like, or not even was, is rather, is 5 miles from Halsden, give or take. But there used to be a club in Hammersmith called Hammersmith Palais. So when I was in school, that was a club we'd frequent. It's closed down now. In fact, it closed down and it reopened and it closed down again. But Hammersmith Palais was the spot. Like, back when I was in school, that was the spot. Like, we're there so much, practically every week at one point, you know. But yeah, it's usually because like somebody can get free tickets or discount tickets or something like that, right? It's usually somebody can get some kind of offer on it. So yeah, we were there a lot, you know. Good times though, good times. Plenty of food to choose from in NYC. Every cuisine is catered for. You still go back to your old haunts? Not on a regular basis. I mean, I think the last time I passed through there was probably years ago. Just happened to get a job on a cab job that took me into the area, and so I parked up somewhere because and I kind of just walked around a little bit just to be like, oh, let me just walk around this place. And yeah, lots changed, of course. And I guess I've passed through it a few times on other jobs that I've had where I'm driving through it. But this particular job actually was the person was getting off in the area. And so I figured, yeah, let me just park up a little bit, just walk around. I think that was about 2, maybe 3 years ago. And, but yeah, it was cool just to see the old town or the neighborhood. And yeah, from new shops there now, and the roads are different, like the way they used to be, like one, there used to be like a place you can drive is now like a bus only zone, and some parts that used to be one way are now 2-way, you know, just some changes like that. There's a big clock in the middle of town called Jubilee Clock. It used to be burgundy. It used to be burgundy, but at some point they painted it all black. So yeah, definitely quite a few changes. But yeah, you know, it was cool to see it. But yeah, even passed by the house that I grew up in. Listen, whoever bought that house, they fixed it up. Because mate, we were some badass kids. Like when we left that house, there was mash up. Like the front wall was mashed up. There used to be a gate that was gone. So whoever bought the house afterwards, I passed by it, I was like, raw. Like they've redone the whole front of the house. You know, like they fixed up the wall. They put these nice looking lights on the outside. Man, I felt like knocking on the door and just say, yo, I used to live here. But I was like, nah. Let me know. But yeah. Oh yeah, definitely felt nostalgic. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was cool to see it. But yeah. South Hill Grill and Shane's are some good places around this area. South Hill Grill and Shane's. Just Shane's. Let me see here. I'm gonna search that South Hill Grill. See what comes up. Is that Spokane? Is that right? I got a South Hill Grill. Says no. That's Washington. That's not Louisiana. That's... if it came up for sale and wasn't your price, you would have moved back to your old house. You know, I thought about that actually. Like, I think it would be a cool thing to do, to buy the house I grew up in, just to have it back in the family. I think that's kind of a long away dream though. I don't think I'd be able to afford the house I grew up in. And with house prices going up, and you know, like I don't know what they'd be valued at now, but I mean, when it was sold, which would be close to 10 years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago now, actually, it was valued at around 400,000, I think. And so yeah, in the last 10 years, it would have gone up much more than that by now, I'm sure. So yeah, I don't think I'll be able to afford it. But I mean, yeah, who knows? Maybe one day, you know, never say never, right? Yeah, maybe this YouTube thing will finally kick off. I'll become one of those YouTube millionaires. I could be like, hell, I could turn up at this place and say, I want to buy it, and I'm willing to pay over the market price. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to do it though. If I could afford it, it'd be cool to do it. But yeah, probably not. Probably not. But guys, it is 1:45 tomorrow, so it is about time I started winding down. So yeah, next live stream should be on Thursday, playing some games, play a little bit more Final Fantasy and maybe something else as well. We'll see on the day. In the meantime, maybe I'll post a video, maybe I won't. See how I'm feeling. But you have been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Would you want to move back to your old house? Oh, that's for Sam. Okay, cool. Appreciate you all that you do. Thank you for keeping company. Thank you for keeping it lively. Village is strong because you make it strong, and only gonna make it stronger. And we're only gonna get strong. I'm gonna say my own outro. Yeah. Until whenever, if ever. Peace.